The first audience feedback I got was from my surveys. The first survey was for audience expectations. I done this during the early stages of my planning and research to help me with the early planning. From this survey, I learned that the majority of people expected a faster soundtrack, and more than one soundtrack. Based on this, I focused my research on composers who created faster soundtracks. As everyone in this survey said they preferred a simpler, clear title to a complex animated one, I looked at fairly simple tutorials, which, although were complex to create, still looked fairly clear afterwards. After this was my costumes and prop survey. This was to help me decide my mise en scène for my characters before filming. Every respondent expected all black clothing from the characters, so because of this I kept to relatively dark clothing throughout, with the exception of the breakfast scene, as I wanted to create a contrast between when their lives were normal compared to when things started to go wrong. A lot of people expected the characters to have cuts and bruises, so I gave the protagonist this in about half the shots in the trailer. My most useful audience feedback was received during the construction and editing stages of my production. The main audience feedback I got was from my rough cut, which I found very helpful when it came to the final bit of editing. The most useful feedback came from questions about the soundtrack and the question on anything that could be improved. The feedback on the type of soundtrack was useful as I was still in the process of developing it and was unsure about the speed it should be. Based on this feedback, I was able to create a slow part and a fast part and add each bit according to the action going on in the trailer. The general improvement question was useful as it brought my attention to the voiceover transitions, which needed to be made clearer and smoother before the trailer was finalised. It also allowed me to cut some of the scenes in the house, which since receiving the feedback I realised were too long and needed to be cut.